All right, guys, welcome back. Twin Cities Rumble update, information, whatever you want to call this. Essentially, we get a lot of questions like, how do I know where my ring is, right? I know the registration people up front get asked that question all the time. And here's what's going to be the easiest thing is when you use Matt Action to register and you're in there and you have your account, you should be able to see what approximate time you're going to go based on how many people are in divisions in that ring and so on. And you're also going to find out what ring number you're in. And if we move your ring number the day of, then since you're already set, you'll start to get updates. So again, the best thing to do is just check Matt Action. It should have approximate time. Now, we have guaranteed start times where we won't start before, but we could possibly start after. Things happen, right? You never know, a division might run a little bit longer, something happens, whatever it might be, right? So again, that approximate start time is based on the number of people lined up in that ring and those divisions. Now, if a division gets split and moved out, everything's going to change, right? So if it says that you're going to start at, let's say, 10:30, I would always suggest planning to be at the event a half an hour before that group of divisions starts. So black belt forms, let's say you start at 10:30, get there by 10. Just to be safe. You don't know, with parking and registration time and everything else, having to use the bathroom last second, whatever it might be, plan to always be there half an hour early. So if you're supposed to start 1:30, be there at 1, right? So that's kind of my suggestion for everyone. Now, like I said, those times in Matt Action are going to be approximate. So if there's only 2 people lined up in that ring to go before your division, it's going to say you're going pretty close to the normal start time. If there's 40, it's going to say much longer. Now, if we split a division, we move it to an overflow, which we have to help keep things on track, we might start really close to a time that we start all those divisions, and you're planning for it later. So I say, if like junior black belt sparring starts at 2:30, be there at 2. We might start right at 2:30. 2:30, say, line up, guys, let's get in. Let's boom, got good judges, and we get going right away, right? Again, it might tell you that it's 3:30. Be there, and again, that's part of terms, that's part of how this goes. Because it is an electronic system, it doesn't know what our intention is. Use that with a grain of salt. But again, as long as everything stays on track, that system's going to be real accurate, and it's going to actually tell you really close to the time you're going to go. But again, I say that if your scheduled grouping of classes is scheduled for a time, plan to be half an hour early. You still have to get through registration. You got to check in. You got to get your wristbands. Got to find your ring. We're trying to find ways that we can print the ring list or have a TV monitor in the lobby, because the biggest thing is we do move stuff. So printing lists like we used to do a long time ago becomes a little bit harder with us moving things and adjusting for the day. So that being said, printed lists are kind of a thing we haven't done a whole lot of anymore, but your Matt Action will update you, because if we decide to move you from ring 2 to ring 8, obviously if you're there, we'll tell you, but your app should let you know. And again, we can send out notifications through the app. So that's just something to think about if you're looking for that. Now, when the question comes to registration, you can register in person. If you want to show up, you don't like using, well, you're probably not watching this video, but if you don't like laptops, you don't like cell phones, all you have to do is show up at the event. We're going to have someone dedicated to helping you get registered. We've got lots of laptops. We're going to have some laptops up there. You have your phone. We'll have QR codes you can scan and go directly to registration. And essentially you walk up and you say, I need help. They will hand you a laptop. They will help you get it typed in. They'll remind you to check your rank to make sure you're in the right division. And then once you're registered, either pre-registered because you did it before you came to the event, or you register there using one of our laptops or your phone, then you'll get in line. When you get in line, meaning you're pre-registered, well, signs reminding you, then you go up to the people running registration, you say, I'm so-and-so, they'll check you in, they'll confirm you're paid, they'll help you pay if you haven't paid yet, they'll get you your wristbands, and they'll send you on in, okay? So you're gonna see a registration line kind of divided up by, the crowd dividers. Essentially, we're gonna have the pre-registered, which is everyone, but then we're gonna have a cash-only line. So people who, because it's a little bit quicker, we don't have to punch in credit card numbers, and we do have the swipers again. So essentially, if you show up and you just wanna hand them cash and walk through, it does actually speed things up. Obviously, not everyone carries cash these days, but that would be a quicker process. So we will have a line that'll be cash only. And obviously if it's super dead, it won't really matter where you go. But that's kind of how that works out. So ultimately, the number one thing, keep checking your Matt Action account for our event. That will give you an approximate time we're going to start, but I can't guarantee if it says anytime after. So if it says junior black belt sparring, 2:30, right? Plan to be in there at 2. It might say you're going to go at 3:20 based on the number of divisions. But as we move those and shuffle those, your time's going to keep changing. So again, it's an estimate based on if everything stays the same. So Saturday is going to be essentially our WKC qualifier stuff for the sparring and our traditional challenge, different things which go into a night show. There's a separate video if you want to find out information about that. The seminars, people keep asking me about seminars. The seminars are a paid event. We have Master Boone and we have Miss Mitling. teaching their profession, and we want to pay them, right? They're sharing their knowledge. At this point, those are still paid things. They're not free to anyone at the tournament. So if you want to go and you want to watch, you have to pay to watch. If you want to participate, it's the same price. You might as well just participate, right? So those are going on. We close off the competition room as we're still preparing rings too while that's going on. And that is a paid thing. So again, if you send Johnny in to do the bow seminar, we're not going to have 3 other brothers, siblings, parents sitting in there too, because it's the information that you're paying for. So having a bunch of people in there is not what we're going to be doing. So again, the seminars are closed off to just the people who are paying to be participants. If you want to pay and just watch, you can, but that's how that seminar works, just so you are aware of that. And then as far as spectators, you can do those at the door. You can do them online if you want to do them, but the spectator fee is $10 for, I think it's 11 and older, or maybe it's 12 and older, and then it's $5 for 5 to 11-year-olds. And that gets you in on Saturday competition, gets you into the Saturday night show, and it gets you in on Sunday. If you're a competitor, you automatically have your own wristband as a competitor, different colored wristband, and that gets you in at any point too. So if you're competing on Sunday, you want to show up and watch Saturday, you get your competitor wristband, make sure you keep it, and then you can come in, you can watch it. And if you lose it, you're going to have to pay for your spectator pass again to get back in, because we don't want people coming and grabbing all their passes and handing them out. So essentially, that's how the spectator pass works. I know that some people always have a question of whether or not you have any included. We do not do so many included spectators with a competitor. If you register as a competitor, that person gets in, and then obviously any spectators going in need to pay too. So hopefully this answers some of the questions we've been getting about how spectators work for the different events, what's going on Saturday, what's going on Sunday, and what time you should show up, and how you find out where you're supposed to go. If you have any questions leading up to the tournament, before you get there, feel free to ask. Send out your questions to info@twincitiesrumble.com. We'll get back to you as soon as we get an answer for it. And again, we will have people up at registration helping you register before you even get in line in the pre-register line. We're going to try to speed things up. I want to make sure that we're flowing that line so it's not 100 people deep like it's been in the past. Again, thank you for all the support we've been receiving over the last couple of years. Let's make Twin Cities Rumble another great year.